Welcome to Insight Builder channel. Introducing Pydantic AI Agentic Framework, Part 3. Building Pydantic advanced agents with structured output, along with Logfire tracing. In the last two parts of this series, we had looked at how to build basic as well as intermediate level of agents with Pydantic AI, and we have seen the building blocks of Pydantic AI. In this video, we are going to look at the structured output part. We have seen that the tools will have the context, and the context maintains the state variables, and the user prompts can work with the agents, right? In this discussion, we are going to go one step above, and we are going to create a base Pydantic model, that is base model, and get a structured output from the agent. That's going to be phenomenal. That's only one thing. Apart from this, we are also going to introduce Logfire. Logfire is an observability platform that has been developed by Pydantic team itself. Logfire is an opinionated wrapper around open telemetry. If you guys look at my other videos, there is a video on Phoenix server, which is also a open telemetry based observability platform. It's very similar to that, but Logfire is much more simpler. So you'll be seeing that in a couple of seconds. You can understand the data flowing through the Pydantic models much more intuitively using the Logfire platform. And the traces and logs will help in understanding how the agents are working. Because you see, we have a separate entire platforms that are only there to look at the agent's activity with the LLMs, right? Logfire makes it effortless to view the traces, not just of agents alone. It can also help you to look at the traces of your own Python functions. It's a very versatile package. I am just introducing here for the purpose of working with the agents. Depending on your guys, if you have any questions on this, I will make a separate video on Logfire itself. But here it's more about a simple introduction. So Logfire makes it effortless to view the traces of agents and tool calls along with the timeline. You'll be seeing that in a couple of minutes. In order to configure Logfire, it's a very simple process. First of all, sign up and sign in into Logfire platform. You need to create a project in Logfire dashboard. You need to install Logfire SDK on your virtual environment and use Logfire auth command to authenticate yourself to your Logfire account. Connect to the project created using the Logfire dashboard in this step 1, and then configure Logfire in Python code. All of these things will be pretty simple. I have just given you the steps here. So now let's dive into the demo. The demo code that I'll be working upon is a advanced agent structured output.py. The code will be shared with you guys. The project, the Logfire project that I'll be working upon is present in my account here. I have already signed up. If I go to the account, this is my main page, account page in Logfire platform. You will have an empty page. Okay, you will have to create a new project. Once you click on new project, you need to give the name YT demo logging, and you can create the project. And you need to ensure that you don't give underscores. It's not accepted here. So I can say YT agent logging, and I can create the project. And once the project is created, you have to install the SDK. And there are two things. You have to go for production or development, go on development, because you are working on the development environment. You need to install the SDK. So if you click on this, it will open up a separate page where you will be given the steps to install the SDK. So it's a simple pip install Logfire. And after that, you have to do the log auth, right? So if you go back here, if I go into the environment, I have to go into the place where I have to execute the code. So I will go there first and I am going to say Logfire auth. When I start this process, the authentication process will start for me and the browser will open for me. I am not going to continue the process because it's already done for me. Okay. But in your case, you can see that it is already logged in. But in your case, it will start a browser session and you need to accept to authenticate that. After that, you need to use Logfire projects use, and here you need to use the project that you created just a minute ago. So the project that I created name is YT agent logging. So this project name you need to provide here. Right, I need to provide this way, and then what will happen is the project, yeah, I need to say projects, it's not project, it's projects. Then the projects will get configured, and that's it. The environment that you are working on, that is a Windows or Linux environment that you are working on, will now know that you have to log all the traces and the spans logs to this particular project detail. And you need to click on live here so that you can see in live what is happening. So here there is nothing, it's empty right now. Okay, so let us keep this open and let us go back to the code. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. So the logging part is ready, the configuration part is ready. In the script, in the ADV agent strc output script, I have added two lines. So the line 10 is import Logfire and line 12 is logfire.configure. Also, if you look at the requirements.txt, that is part of this Pydantic spike repo or the folder, you can see that I have Logfire already installed. Also, I have this Pydantic-AI Logfire. So this is required for everything to work appropriately. So go ahead and install this. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this, I'm going to execute this script. The moment I execute this, the script is working with PyWebIO for the front end. So it will open up a web application in a moment. Once it opens, you can see the Logfire project is automatically getting linked. You can see that happen in parallel. Once it gets opened, here it is already opened. I'm going to now split the window so that you guys can see what is happening. This is where the Python script is executing, and this is where the output will be shown to you. So I'm going to start by asking split and count where is the Jupyter now. So this is the same example that I've been using across the 3 parts of the videos that I have posted till now. So let me submit this and see what happens here. So you see that every step of what is happening in the model gets printed out. That is first thing. I did not give any of these prints myself, or I did not create any of these logging myself. It is all done by Logger. And at the same time, you can see the output has been updated here in a structured format. So you can see sentence equal to this sentence. It has been extracted from here. You can see that here, right? And the words, where is the Jupyter now, is split using Python split function, and the word is counted. So if you want to do something else, say for an example, can you split and count? So I am using a different kind of split and count the sentence when did the universe started. Now I am giving another one example, request here, and you can see that the sentence is again extracted properly. When did the universe started? So it is properly extracted, then it is converted into a structured format, and then it is giving us both sentence, words, and word count. This is what I've asked. So this is the structured output. This is only part that is done by the Pydantic agent. But now let us look at what the Logfire has done. So if you come here, you will see that it has got a lot more things. So this is where the things become interesting. So there are 2 main line items, right? This line item that you see in the blue here, this is the trace, okay, and it is having, let me zoom in a bit. I believe if I zoom in more, yeah, I think this will be the best right now. because I don't have the scroller here, so it will become a problem. Yeah, I don't have a scroller for this. You can see that this entire call of advanced agent run has taken 2.2 seconds. Out of that, the model request, first time model request has taken 1.2 seconds. And let me zoom out because the scrolling is not working. You can actually take a look at it by yourself also. And the second model request, after finding the tools, the second model request has taken 950 milliseconds. Right, this is the first time when I called it. Apart from that, when I click on the span or the trace, you can see the entire ID of the trace, what is the date, etc. And also you can look at the complete details from where it was started, on what line it was started, and you can look at the raw date also. Right, all of these things are present to you for viewing and for checking. And it also gives the model details. It tells you what are the model attributes that has been passed. Everything has been shared with you guys and it has been recorded. You can use it for creating your own dashboards also. And you can see that the model response, the model request, everything gets logged. Nothing is kept in the back. Apart from that, you can see what are the steps it goes through. And this steps is same as what steps you are seeing here. Preparing the model, model request, handle model response, etc. You can see the same thing happening here also. Now, this is how you have to really understand how the agents work. And we can see that here that agents have multiple model calls happening. This understanding, if your agent is going into kind of a retry loop, if your agent is unable to get a particular task done, then when you have this kind of a setup, you can easily debug the agentic situation. Not just the agentic situation. You can work with simple Python functions also, and you can get the similar kind of output. So let me show you. If you go back to the demo again, I'm going to close this demo. And I am going to start a very simpler looking code. And then we will come to this code. So the code that I am going to start is Logfire Advanced. And here, again, I have configured Logfire the way I have configured it in the earlier code. And this time what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a very simple looking function from 13 to 16. So you can see that I am creating Logfire.span, and I am saying this is a demo span, and this is a demo info log. So I'm updating this, right, and I'm going to execute this code. So this is a simple Python script, right? I'm going to execute that Logfire advanced.py, and this is again going to connect with the same YT agent logging, okay? And it is going to update that in the area. So if you go back, you will see that this is the demo span. You see that, right? And if you open that, you will see inside that there is a demo info log. So there are two things here. So there is a span and there is a log. The log happens at a specific point in time. A span happens over a period of time, right? And this entire step, both including the span and the logs, are called as a trace, right? So the trace contains both spans and logs. The span provides the entire timeline that it takes. Understanding this is very important. There is an entire series that I have made on how tracing, how open telemetry, what are the basics of spans. Yeah, it's a very different concepts altogether. Do take a look. I will link that videos into this video also. Now, let us now go back to the code of agent that we are talking about. Okay, now we have seen the, let me go back again. So we have seen the demo. Okay, we have seen the Logfire dashboard walkthrough. Okay, but now we are going to code walkthrough. The code walkthrough is going to be for the Pydantic AI agent. The code for Logfire AI is pretty simple. You have to just use logfire.configure, and if you want, you need to initiate logfire.span, but it's not required in case of agents. It is already done for you. Okay, how it is done? It is done because we installed this library already. So if you go here, if you do a cat requirement, you see we have installed this Pydantic AI Logfire. This takes care of doing the instrumentation for your Pydantic AI related functions and classes. Okay, you don't need to do it manually. Meaning you don't need to manually create spans and logs like I have created here. Like 13 to 16, I have created the logfire.span on line 13 and line 15 logfire.info. Like this, you don't need to create it in your agent scripts. Like in this script, advanced agent strc output, you don't need to create it. It's already created for you. It's not visible here, but as we installed the Pydantic AI Logfire this package, the instrumentation is done for you. So keep this in mind. So you don't need to be confused. So you have to just use these two lines, 10 and 12. These two lines will start everything for you. Okay, now let's move forward. The output that you saw in this area, the output that you are seeing here, the sentence equal to, words equal to, and word count equal to, this is happening because I have created an expected output base model. This base model is coming from Pydantic. And in the base model, I have specifically requested for 3 parameters or attributes. One is sentence, which is a string. Second is a word, which is a list. And third is a word count, which is an integer. And along with that, I have given the field descriptions also. Right, the descriptions of the sentence to split and count, the list of words in the sentence after it's split, and the count of words. Also, I have given the default values. When I give all this information specifically to the agent, what happens is the agent also updates these things inside the prompt. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to print this agent and see what happens. I'm going to say from, okay, the rich print is already imported, so I'm going to just say print advanced agent underscore date. So, and let us see how is the actual output of the agent dictionary. You also have to look at the output of these class instances to understand it in a much easier and better fashion. Here you can see the entire agent class, agent instance. You can see the result tool, and as you can see here, the parameters JSON schema, the sentence, the words, and the word count. You see all of these things has been clearly updated here. Okay, and this is going as a part of a tool, and it is going as a result tool, and it goes to the LLM also. So the LLM looks at this and it knows, okay, the output has to be converted into this format. That is how the LLM is providing you this kind of output. Right. Understanding what is happening at the back end is much more important. Okay, and that is the reason why I'm taking this route to show you everything one by one. Okay, now let us go back and let us continue. The expected output model or the class is given to the result type under the agent instantiation code in line number 21. Keep this in mind. You should give it here. Okay, and this result type has no link with the run context. If you remember in the earlier videos, I had discussed about the run context that you need to provide to the these tools. It is not linked with this in any way. Okay, this output is only with respect to the expected output of the agent. This is required if you are going to have multiple agents. So I'm thinking of making 1 or 2 more videos with Logfire and also with the Pydantic agents to make the tools to call or return agents. I need to experiment with that, so stay tuned for that. There, the expected output will be very important, or the base model output will be, structured output will be very important. So yeah, the base model output, the structured output, the expected output, all of these things, I am confusing all these words, but all these things means structured output, right? and the structure output is happening because of this kind of update that is going to the LLM. Okay. So here the same tool I used, I have not changed anything in the tool as such. I have not even changed anything in the prompt also. Right, the depths is same, the dependencies are same, the prompt way, the loop for getting the user prompt, and all of the entire logic is still the same for the main function. Right. Only thing that I have modified to make this agent into little more advanced step is to add the structure output. And the second thing that I have done is to add the Logfire configure. So these are the primary two things that I wanted to share in this video. So I believe that in this video you guys understood the Logfire dashboard, and also you understood about how to configure Logfire both on the browser session as well as on your terminal session. We understood what's the purpose of Logfire, and we saw how to create the structure output using Pydantic base model. And I believe that in this video we really felt the way Pydantic AI has made the agents simple. Right, we saw the context, we saw the expected output, and we saw the tools, everything getting built into a very simple interface, and it provides you a very crystal clear way of getting from user input or the user prompt to the final LLM output. So I believe that this video has been helpful to you guys. Do leave your comment and subscribe to my channel for further updates on similar kind of videos. With that said, see you guys. Practice, 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 practice.